to another episode of REVXP Presents. I'm Chris Mann, the SVP of REVXP, the gaming-focused division of the global integrated sports marketing agency Revolution. And today I am joined by the senior marketing manager at the Call of Duty Endowment, Michael Maggitti. What's up, Michael?
Hey, Chris. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm excited to jump into the convo with you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my pleasure. As I share with you, it's my first time doing a podcast, so let's do it live.
Let's do it. Well, full disclosure, Michael and the Call of Duty Endowment are a client of Revolution and the REVXP team. We handle a lot of their activation, and we're really excited to work with you and have you on because obviously the Endowment's mission is really important and it's really unique in the gaming space. So a little bit about Michael and his role at the Endowment. He was actually in the Marine Corps for over 8 years. He founded the grassroots org Marine Corps Gaming, which actually he was in recruiting at the time and developed the entire brand strategy for that grassroots organization. And he put together the first Marine Corps team for the Call of Duty Bowl, which was actually called Call of Duty Bowl 2. So he's got a long history building brand strategy within the gaming ecosystem, as well as working not only within the Marine Corps and the Endowment, but really he's like the embodiment of what the Endowment does, which I'm going to let him talk about because he can say it better. So want to give us a little background about the Endowment?
Yeah, I'm happy to, Chris, and I appreciate the warm intro. It's truly a dream come true, being able to continue to serve. You know, as a veteran, like hanging up your uniform, finding that sense of purpose is something we all struggle with, and being able to combine my passion for gaming and continuing to serve and support other veterans through the Endowment, like I said, is a dream come true. So the Endowment was founded in 2009, back on Veterans Day, with the sole purpose of employing veterans and putting them into high quality jobs. So we're technically a 501c3 nonprofit, and we serve as the largest private funder of veteran support services and employment. So we do that both in the US and the UK, and we partner with the most effective and efficient veteran support organizations. Or VSOs. So they specialize in career services such as resume preparation, job interview prep, career counseling, salary negotiations, et cetera. They have an expansive network of veteran-friendly employers that are looking to hire veteran talent because they appreciate the transferable skills that we as veterans bring into the workforce. So we've been doing this since 2009, and we've placed more than 125,000 veterans into high-quality jobs across the US and UK. So it's a remarkable accomplishment, but it would not be possible without the support of the Call of Duty Endowment and our community that supports us. Obviously, the players who are purchasing the in-game packs, they're participating in our in-game challenges, as well as the company. So the franchise itself, Call of Duty, we're able to leverage this a massive IP and really give back to the heroes who inspire the game in a meaningful way. So our players come first, and then the employees who, through their time and talents, are creating the in-game assets and the packs and the challenges that make it such a fun experience to game for good.
That's awesome. And obviously that, those challenges and those in-game packs are really core to what players want within the, within the Call of Duty experience. And similar to many games out there, in-game cosmetics, collectibles really drive the economics of the gaming industry. So not only are you, if you're in that community, you're supporting the Endowment, but you're getting stuff that you want, which is right, adding value to the experience, which is a big thing that, we like to see, and resonates with how brands can activate. So Michael, we jumped right in, but let's start with, the second question is probably the easiest we'll get is, what games are you playing right now?
Yeah. So without obviously Call of Duty, I have to say, the time that I do have is spent in the game, immersing myself with the product itself. I'm a product marketing manager, so working with studios directly to design some of these goods. I want to know what performs best, what is the latest meta. But I have two little ones, so truthfully, the free time that I have is dedicated to work, and the free time with them is spent playing hide and seek. So it's not in game, but it's another game that I spend a lot of time playing. But FPS is my genre. I grew up on Call of Duty, of course, and Halo as well. So you talk about my time with the Marine Corps, was able to partner with Halo and the championship series that they have in esports. So again, cut my teeth kind of in the military esports section before moving over to the Code Bowl and the Endowment and starting that military team with the Marine Corps. So, first person shooter genres, I'm always down if I have the time.
So obviously there's a lot of players out there in Call of Duty, hopefully some people watching this. So what is the current meta of in Call of Duty?
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of streams more than I've been playing as of late, and I know that we just introduced the car 98 back into the game, so everyone is really jazzed about that. And I haven't yet got my hands on it. We also dropped in the Sally pistol blueprints as a tease for what's coming in the next edition of Call of Duty. So I've seen a lot of people rolling around with the dual wield pistols as well as the Car 98.
That's awesome. Now, are you a Warzone guy, or are you playing multiplayer?
Warzone mostly, when my friends are online and when I can find the time. But I grew up with multiplayer before Warzone. I remember the very first day seeing that countdown clock on the TV screen, not knowing what was waiting us as we were all trapped indoors during the global shutdown. So since that day, I've migrated over to Warzone.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How many wins do you have under your belt?
I'm not the sweatiest player, so it's nothing impressive. I don't keep track, I should say.
That's a great question. Listen, every time I jump in, there are way too many sweaty players. So I've got to take I love Call of Duty, but I've got to take it with the ebb and flow and not get it too serious, because there's a lot of people out there that take it way too serious, which is great for the game.
Yeah, I just think my style of play, I'm very headstrong, so I will run into a room thinking I can push a team alone. And it never usually works out as I planned for it.
I'm the Leroy Jenkins, man. I will run straight into like a team fight and just be like, "Are you guys coming?" Oh, I forgot to tell you, I was running into there. So
yeah, I just blame it on my Marine Corps training. We run to the sound of fire.
I blame it on my my upbringing doing wrestling and MMA and stuff. It's like, go hard or go home, man, right?
Exactly.
Go hard or go home. So, hey, May, obviously, we're May 23rd. We're almost at the end of Military Appreciation Month. You guys have been doing an incredible amount of stuff, including obviously Military Appreciation Night at Texas Rangers game, great activation. But what does that month look like for you, and how busy has it been for the Endowment?
Yeah, so Military Appreciation Month this year was our most ambitious and action-packed. So everyone's familiar with Veterans Day, which is one day dedicated to celebrating the community, but less people are familiar with the month of Military Appreciation Month. So we have an entire month to give back to that community and the families that support those community, the spouses, and then the children. So we do a lot from start to finish, in game and out of game. Beginning the month, we were in the UK at the Babcock Trophy signing the Army Navy rugby match. So it's our third year in a row sponsoring that event, again, because our mission supports veterans in the UK. And this year was especially significant because there was the Armed Forces Covenant, which Activision signed and participated in, kind of renewing our ongoing commitment to the veteran community in the UK. And then the Endowment is a sponsor of that match. So exciting to be on the pitch there for that in person. And then the very next day, we launched an in-game pack on COD Mobile. So it was our first ever operator bundle that featured our second ever female Endowment operator. So exciting to reach out to the COD Mobile community, which is slightly different than the Warzone community. And then on the 6th, the following day, we launched our Military Appreciation Month bundle. So that's something that I've personally been working on for many months with Sledgehammer Games to create the Code Night Recon Tracer Pack. So the Tracer Pack has the rounds that you can see when you shoot out. It had 2 operators, 2 primary weapons. It was our strongest offering in game, and the community has spoken since that's been on sale. It's our best performing Military Appreciation Month pack. And that pack features Ben, who we worked with at Modern Warfare 3 launch in the Warrior Pack. So he's a decorated, retired Navy SEAL that we put into the game back in November. And this is kind of the evolution of his story in the game. We kind of modernized his pack. And if you notice, there's a drone UAV on the back of his operator bundle, which led into the in-game challenge, the U.S. Veterans Challenge that was presented by our partners at USAA. So that was a 2-week in-game challenge, just ended yesterday. That players could go into. There were 7 rewards, challenges that you would unlock the rewards, and then that unlocked a mastery animated camo, which was a first for the Endowment. But we really played on the use of UAVs in the game, which, as you're familiar, kind of reveal the enemy location and help players navigate where that next move is, avoid any pitfalls, to avoid an entire team and you're alone and you're trying to rush a building. In the same vein, the Endowment helps veterans navigate their next move in their career. So kind of a play on words there, but it was a lot of fun to create that with the studio. And for 2 weeks, that's the longest activation we've had in game. Our fans really enjoyed it. We used that activation to unlock a $1 million donation from Activision. So through the active play, we allocate that $1 million to the Endowment, and we did the use of UAVs. So for every 5 UAVs you called in, we received $1 via Activision. And within the first few days of the challenge, we unlocked that $1 million. So we far surpassed our goal during a 2-week challenge of unlocking that. So thank you to the Call of Duty community, thank you to our studios and everyone who contributed to that. And then, as you mentioned, we had the baseball match. So the Texas Rangers hosted a military theme night. So prior to the match, there was a meet and greet with Texas veterans on the field with Adalis Garcia. There was a bobblehead that night with Adalis plating up because he himself is an avid Call of Duty player. And our very own Brian Bulletow, who's a Call of Duty Endowment board member and a military veteran, he got to throw out the first pitch. So all around, it was an incredible night out on the baseball field. We started on the rugby pitch earlier in the month. We ended on the baseball field, and in between, we had just some incredible in-game content that we've never put so much out into the game before. And again, it's been a busy month for us, but as it should be, because at the end of the day, everything we do, 100% of our PAC proceeds go to the mission. So if we're not busy, the veterans aren't getting the support they need.
It's awesome. Obviously, a lot of in-game content. The players want that, and that's how they, support. And obviously, the proceeds going to support what you guys do is incredible. And Adalis Garcia, World Series MVP. So certainly, he's probably, playing Call of Duty. That continued convergence of sports, entertainment, culture. We see that all the time. The ability to tap into that, with the World Series MVP and an avid Call of Duty player is very cool. The content, I saw some of it, incredible. Obviously, the Rangers supporting it on their social channels. The night of the event, he hit a home run. They won that night. So obviously, everything kind of came together really cool. The bobblehead was amazing. So very great night. And I think, we see that, the community embraces content when it's done right. So whether it's in-game content, video content, social content, you guys obviously have done a great job, spearheaded by you on the marketing team, with the support of everyone else on the squad, including Parker and Aline. There's an incredible, there's an incredible team behind what you guys do. And there's also the team, there's multiple teams. You have to work with multiple studios. So, your jobs are very complicated, to get that content out. But I think at the end of the day, when it's embraced by the players, which is key, that goes back to the great cause. And obviously there's a lot of brands, which we want to get into because we have a lot of brand marketers that watch this. How can brands get involved and support the Call of Duty Endowment?
Yeah, so great question. Parker's been spearheading our partnership relationships and really growing that space for us, and he's doing an excellent job of that. But have the partners we've been with in the past, just to name a few: USA, Pilot, Flying J, Monster Energy, and we're always trying to grow new partnerships at the same time. So we want them to be as collaborative as possible and as authentic as possible to the gameplay experience. So Parker takes a customized approach to each individual partner that he either engages with or ones that come to us. But no matter who we're working with, we guarantee two things. One, that 100% of their investment is going to support veterans. So no other partner can make a bigger impact on the veteran community than we can from an employment perspective. And then two, for that same investment, we can unlock opportunities to authentically engage the Call of Duty community, which, as you know, are 18 to 34-year-olds. So how to, engage with that is, you can either reach out to Parker, find him on LinkedIn, email info@callofdutyendowment.org. But, we just ask that you have, passion for the audience, the players, and you have a passion for the mission. Because when those two things align, that's when we unlock success, both for the partner and for us and our player base. We're very fortunate to work with the Call of Duty franchise, since they provide us access to just these huge key marketing beats, such as game launches, in-game events, and then obviously the IP is just so rich and iconic that it is based, again, as I said, on real life heroes, and we always want to ground what we do in that mission and who we're serving at the end of the day. So really, anyone looking to engage a digital first audience and make positive social impact, just reach out to us, because we're hungry to do more. And we just did the most we've ever done with Military Appreciation Month, and we're already planning for next Military Appreciation Month in 2025 already.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, shout out to Parker. Parker and I go back. He was on my team, and we worked on T-Mobile together. Incredible. I've loved seeing his career kind of grow, and what he's doing with you guys now is amazing. And so that's great. Love to see you guys working together, in terms of like how brands can come into a space, because Call of Duty, the IP, is one of the biggest IPs in gaming, and many brands have military appreciation, military support initiatives. And so when you're able to bring that brand to the gaming space through one of the biggest IPs with one of the biggest scales and player bases, and then also support their missions, that's a win-win for everyone. And so any further insights on that thinking, that line of kind of like for brand marketers out there that are like, hey, we've got military appreciation, like what do we need to know besides like connecting with Parker, the in-game content? Is there any other thing, like insights that you can drop to them to help them, understand partnership opportunities that are out there? Any best? How about this? How many any best case studies of brands that you guys have worked with? What has really worked?
I think, USA sponsoring the Code Bowl every year and Military Appreciation Month, like what we are able to do in game and the content we're able to provide, is thanks to their support and their ability to let us explore the space and do things in the game we haven't done before. So, the past 3 or 4 years, you look at all the Military Appreciation Months, and they've been our sponsor going back, 3-4 years now for this event. We had the Revival Challenge, which was reviving fallen teammates to unlock that donation. We had Veterans, which was basically mimicking an in-game marathon. So run inside the map to unlock a donation. The following year, we had Loot for Good, which was go in the game, grab a bunch of cash, but rather than spend it on yourself, just like rather than go buy a cup of coffee in the morning, put that money in the tip jar, or donate that money rather. So we're always trying to innovate and find creative ways to make an authentic gameplay experience that at the end of the day does some good in this world. So I think being able to be open to those ideas, and it may not be something that the brand itself does or is organic to the brand, but knowing that's organic to the gameplay experience and trusting the partnership team that you're working with to present something that is value added, but doesn't inherently change the gameplay experience, then it's going to be successful.
Dude, that's so cool. Like the revive your teammate, like that goes to support the UAV call-ins, like all those to save your cash. That's super creative. And like you said, authentic and organic to the Call of Duty player experience. They get that call to action. Of course, they're going to do it, right? Of course, they're going to go and support the endowment through those things and support that brand. So super creative, super smart on your guys' part. Kudos to that. And ways to bring major brands like USA and Pilot and Monster Energy and other brands you guys work with into the fold. Right now, obviously, Call of Duty monster franchise, great community. We're going to throw it over to Ian on our Data Nuggets team. Ian's going to take us through all the great things about Call of Duty and why brands should be interested in it.
Thanks, Chris, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, on this week's episode of REVXP Presents. As you just got done listening to, we are talking about COD, not the fish, but the global sensation video game franchise. How much of a sensation is it, you may ask? Well, we are talking to the tune of 500 million copies sold worldwide across the Call of Duty franchise. Last year in 2023, Call of Duty had 5 different games within their franchise make an appearance on the top 50 best-selling video games of all time, not just talking to Call of Duty's popularity globally, but how they've been able to have success across multiple iterations of the game over multiple decades. When we look at today on Twitch, which you all know is a place where people go to not only stream themselves playing video games, but also watch others streaming video games, Call of Duty is always at the top of the list. When we look at the top 10 first-person shooter games being viewed and streamed across Twitch, Call of Duty often has 2 to 3 iterations of their franchise ranked within the top 10 on a weekly basis. Now, that's Call of Duty within the gaming space, but Call of Duty also has become more of a cultural phenomenon, not only here in the United States, but also across the world. Call of Duty is one of those games where you can play on various consoles and also on PC. And via their online battle royale game mode, you can play against people across the country and across the world. Additionally, Call of Duty has really done a great job at tapping into different aspects of the culture that surrounds kind of our society today with music, movies, and sports. Call of Duty has partnered with various musical artists, even creating music specifically for the soundtrack of the games, and able to kind of cross that gap between the gaming and music kind of cultural fan bases. Movies like Act of Valor and American Sniper have given the franchise inspiration to be able to recreate those realistic portrayals of warfare that people are seeing in these movies, and have been able to create fan favorite characters who have then been integrated into the game, as well as kind of the culture surrounding the game. And finally, especially here in the US, you may have seen the Squad Up commercial campaign that's ran over the past couple years, with Call of Duty leaning into, in this particular instance, the NFL community and utilizing those NFL players to show their connection with the game and their connection with the gaming community. that's it for me this week. Back to you in the studio, Chris.
Ian, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time, Michael. Thank you so much for joining us. Congrats on the success of everything you do with the endowment as you wrap up May and Military Appreciation Month. Our team at Revolution and RevXP are really honored to work with you guys. Guys,
Likewise.
Until next time, thank you so much for tuning in. Go out, play some Call of Duty, check out what Michael and the endowment have going on, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Chris.